When the servers go down, we'll tell you what's up. You're listening to Realm Maintenance.
Horde Alliance, Omnix, and Talents podcasters and podcastees, welcome to Realm Maintenance, episode 394. My name is Einar Sjölin, but Ease is easier, so let's just stick with that. I am joined with Paacreek. Great to have you here.
I know, I haven't been on, what's this called, on camera before.
That's true. This is the first time you're on camera on this podcast.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
And we are here today with actor and voice actor Conor McLeod, the voice of Hazard in Overwatch 2. And we'll be talking about his path through acting and landing the role in Overwatch and just his favorite parts about Hazard and that part of Blizzard and his life so far. So it's great to have you here, Conor. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you for having me, guys. Looking forward to it. Yeah.
So we're just gonna get started here. We want to get to know you. We have listeners who are, from all across the Blizzard sphere. So we have Overwatch players, and we have some listeners who might not be super familiar with Overwatch. So we'll kind of get into that as well. But we just want to get to know you and hear about your journey. And so let's just get started with the basics. How did you get started as an actor? Was it a lifelong thing? Was it later? How did you get here?
No. It was so I was maybe about 18. I was like, I never thought it was a thing that was like really possible, like to go and do acting. I don't think it's massively like encouraged, especially like in working class kids and working class communities in Glasgow. I don't think it's always an option of like getting a job in the creatives, following things like that. I think it's quite expected. You go to school and then you either get an apprenticeship or you go to uni, and that's your kind of two options. Or like do you know what I mean? Like you find a job, like something that suits. But I think I was like 18. I'd got in a little bit of trouble, and I was going through some certain things, and Mom said that I was allowed to just do what I wanted. While that kind of thing was going on, I was like, well, I want to go and do acting. Go and do something that I actually enjoyed. I was good at it at school. And I thought, okay, let's go and see audition to go to colleges and study acting. Really quickly, I got like an agent. I got a couple of parts in like a Scottish soap, River City. I got a part in this film that ended up getting cancelled that had like Malcolm McDowell in it and Gary Oldman and stuff, which was really sweet. But yeah, it was so quick that honestly, like I kind of was like, I'll get another one, thinking that like that kind of thing was just easy and you could just get them and just be like, I'll do another one. That I wasn't even bothered at the time. Now I look back on it and I'm like devastated. But yeah, I kind of went to college, which was like I think like now on reflection, I wish someone had been more honest with me of like what the actual steps are to like be an actor, and you don't need to, but you just need to be really lucky. I think if you're someone like me that doesn't have massive connections already in the industry, that you either need to just be really lucky, really put yourself out there. I think maybe start quite young as a kid actor, when there's a lot more opportunities. I didn't know anything, went to college, they kind of like teach you the basics and then kind of just ship you out with no real like kind of how the industry works, how this, how that, how to get an agent. So I kind of left it thinking, what happens next? And I kind of just done some really good stuff. I done some really things that I look back on now and go, that was terrible. That I wouldn't do again now in this position. Just like little like school tour things, you know what I mean? Like dressing up as like Tin Man in the Wizard of Oz and going round schools, which some people love it. Do you know what I mean? And I just really quickly knew that kind of thing wasn't for me. And I think if your heart's not in something, you shouldn't do it. just to say, oh, I do acting, or do you know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm doing this little tour. Like, I think if you don't rate it and you don't want to do something, someone else do it. There's plenty of other people that want to do these kind of things. So it just wasn't for me. And I'd done these plays in Edinburgh at like a really good theatre, and I still couldn't get seen after that for like other theatre shows and TV things and film. And I remember asking like a woman, isn't my agent, but like someone like that. I guess it was a kind of agent type thing. Asked her like, what's the script? Like, how can I not get seen? And she was just like, you don't have a drama school training. A lot of people want a drama school, like an acclaimed drama school especially. So at that point I was then like, I'd always just thought I couldn't afford to go and live in London and go to drama school and pay these fees and do all of this. But I kind of just wanted to like audition and like prove to myself like, okay, am I good enough to go? If I get in, then maybe there's a way that something like that could happen. But I spoke to my dad and he was like, I can't really afford like to be sending like paying these kind of astronomical fees and you live in London and all of that. So I seen this thing called Open Door, which was like a programme. It was the very first year of it that helped working class kids go to, I say kids, I was like 25, working class actors go to like attain places at like the top drama schools. You had to apply for that. It was the very first year they were running it. It's like a charitable organisation. I had to audition for it, and they took say 25 to 30 people. I can't remember exactly what the numbers were, between 20 and 30. And I got a place on that. You had to live in London. They only opened it up to London people, so I just said I lived in London. And I used to just like wake up on a Saturday morning at like 4 a.m, get on a train from Glasgow to London, and I used to just hide in the toilet for like 5 hours. At first I hid in the toilet, and then I worked out the kind of ticket to conductor only comes between Glasgow and Carlisle, and then they change shifts, and then they check again after Preston and stuff. So I kind of was like, started to find a system with it. A few times I got caught. I had to just be doing the whole like, oh, my phone's dead, like, oh, no. Like, I had my ticket right here, and I fell asleep and someone's picked up my ticket. I was just doing that constantly, like, so it was like so stressful. I just couldn't afford to like travel to London, but I'd also said that I lived in London, so I had no option. And a lot of times I just had to do like night buses back to make it on time. Because I couldn't sneak back on the train at the other end. I'd have to do these like cheap buses back from London to Glasgow. It was like 12 hours.
It's not a short trip.
No, it's not. But eventually, like, and then like after I had done it for so long, and when it was coming to auditions and recalls and stuff, I kind of said like, oh, I've had to move back. Like, the situations have changed and that. And then they were really good, and they started like helping me out, like paying some of my, like helping me with costs of things, which was really nice. They were live on radio once, like doing like a kind of promoting Open Door almost, like, because it had been such a massive success the first year. They'd obviously like, then we're going to do it another year, and they then were on radio, like kind of promoting it. Like there was a guy from Birmingham that obviously he did live in London. There was like a girl from Portsmouth, a couple of people from London. We were just talking about it, and I thought the guy knew by this point that I never lived in London. And I said it on radio, and he was like, "You lived in London at the start," and I was like, "No, I didn't." I thought he knew it, and we were just like both sitting on radio, like, this is so awkward now. I was like, fuck. He was like, we'll speak about it later. I was just like, oh, nah. We done. So that was lucky. Got a place at Guildhall, which is like one of the best drama schools in the UK. and then kind of after that, it was just like studying. You kind of just knew because you were at one of these like top establishments. It just meant you still had to work super hard, but you knew that like some of the work was going to be done for you because you had like something like that on your behind you. That when it came to not the work ever would be done for you, but you knew like at the end of third year, like agents and stuff would come and see shows at Guildhall because it's Guildhall. You still had to, you know what I mean, show up and be good and do everything that you have to do. Like it just took a wee bit of the pressure off. That you knew you were going to get like the best spotlight, I guess, best showcase that was possible, the best kind of launch pad into it. Then it was just kind of up to you to do your thing when the lights were on. So that was nice, but obviously I was at drama school when COVID happened. That kind of derailed things a little bit. Came out of drama school, was all right. Things were going all right. And then writer strikes happened and stuff like that. Never really thought that would affect. And the writer strikes happened just as I moved agents to independent. It was a bit like, oh, here we go again. So it was kind of in a weird way. It's like people keep saying it's going to get better. Like it's going to go back to normality, and like this is the year it goes back to normality. This year's probably been the year that I'm like, it's been the quietest for auditions, like compared to other years. And but do you know what I mean? So just kind of waiting, holding out, hopefully. I was lucky I got to do a film this year. So that was nice. You're just kind of hoping that something will snowball off the back of it, and hopefully something else comes up, and hopefully like things get busier and more auditions start coming through.
Yeah, it's not like one, even when you get to those drama schools and then you have an agent, even then it's not guaranteed, right?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, isn't it? It's like kind of it's like a never ending cycle of like just kind of wanting more, or it's not enough. Like there's always just something where you go, kind of you get into a drama school and you go, oh, right, amazing. Then you're like, oh, right, now I need to think about parts in third year. I need to start thinking about agents in third year. And you get an agent, and then you start thinking, right, I need to start worrying about auditions coming through. And you get a job, and then you start worrying about, oh, I wish I was doing that job, or I wish I was doing this, and how come I'm not being seen for this, and how like, oh, I wish I was doing more. Sometimes I think like you just need to like check yourself and just be a bit like, you know what, I done a play at the National, and it was amazing. It was like one of the best experiences of my life. You go through that same thing that all actors will go through, that you're in the room and you go, oh, I wish I was doing more. Oh, I wish I was doing this. You just sometimes have to go, if you'd offer maybe doing a play on the national stage, like with this group of actors, this director and everything, 6 months ago, I would have bitten your hand off for it. I think it's like the more kind of like successes you have, it raises the bar of like the next thing you want and this and that. I think sometimes you just have to be like, you know what, it's all right to be content and enjoy this for what it is and what it is. And hopefully something else comes along that's bigger and better and more exciting, or I mean, a completely different opportunity that lets you act even more, and you just hope that it continues to build in that direction. If it doesn't, hopefully it maintains at this level, and then you go up. Everybody's journey is different, so.
So you were telling us like how you got started as an actor, but what got you into voice acting?
So I worked with a woman in Guildhall called Jane Perry. She's done like loads. I'm sure she's won like. Always say this when people ask me, and then I check and then I forget by the next time someone asks me. Like, she won like some massive gaming award not recently, but like when we were at Guildhall. Try to see what games it is she's done. It was in like Hitman 3. In fact, all the Hitman games. Maybe that she won the awards for. Sorry, I'm just want to actually check this because I consistently say it. What else she was done? Cyberpunk, Baldur's Gate, Hitman 3. I don't know why he's like making me load all this. So loads of things. World of Warcraft. Like, she's done absolutely loads of stuff. So she taught us like video games and like do voiceover like for cartoons and stuff. She just like kind of went through a bunch of things with us, and let us kind of mess about. And, it was just a kind of really open space where she was like such an amazing teacher, and just kind of like gave you this freedom that was just like, I think sometimes maybe like when it's acting, you're so worried about like your aesthetic and what your face is doing, and worried about what your body's doing and all of this stuff. Doing the video games was just so focused on like just a voice. I love cartoons. Like I'm obsessed with cartoons. It just made it such like a kind of going and doing all these like kind of classes and acting and everything like that. It was just such a like kind of escapism that you were just going in a booth, just doing these like, someone was showing you a character and you were just coming up with like an insane voice and doing something weird, and everybody like loved it and stuff. But I just kind of knew early on, I was like, this is something I'd like to do. So when it got to third year, I think a lot of people were so focused on getting agents, whereas I was quite like, I was lucky and I got an agent quite early on. That kind of, I guess, helped and took a bit of the pressure off. Maybe I would have spent more focus on getting an agent. I just remember really early on, I was like, I'm going to get a voice agent. I'm going to attempt to get a voice agent. And I just like made that one of like split focus, rather than being so kind of down with just getting an agent and then thinking that, oh, maybe I'll get a voice agent at some point, or maybe my acting agent will put me in touch with a voice agent, or this. I was just like, nah, let's try and get a voice agent. I want to do things. I want to do video games. I like to do cartoons if ever the opportunity came about. There's just a million and one other things that you just don't think of that is also like voices, you know what I mean? Books and audiobooks, and I've got to do like little commercial voices and little things for like the British Heart Foundation and things for Paolo Nutini's album, like just speaking or like doing a little voiceover thing. Or there was a commercial about women streamers, like the kind of abuse that they face, and you were just kind of, you know, like starting off like really nicely and being like, oh, you're amazing at this game, you look so good, blah blah blah, this, that, and then the kind of violent turn that a lot of women streamers experience. I think like one, it's just really enjoyable experiences to get to do them. Two, they also pay you quite nicely to do these little things, like for, I mean, they're not regularly enough that you go, oh, that's my sole income or anything, but for like 1 hour, you maybe get booked for like the British Heart Foundation thing. You maybe go in, you get booked to record the voice, and you get paid to do it. And then if they end up using it in their commercial, you get a further payment, and you're maybe only booked for an hour. I mean, and when I went and done that one, got it in like 2 takes, so I was there for like 10 minutes. You just go, the rate of pay for a 10 minutes work is incredible. That I think like there's been a lot of times that kind of helped see me kind of through like dry spells in acting, whether it be like creatively like stimulating, or whether that be like financially. Do you know what I mean? Like I just think it's such a, I think I always say it to like graduate actors, like, get a voice agent. Unless they're Scottish voices, then I don't say it to them, because
Yeah.
doing my
Can't have
jobs,
any
but
competition.
yeah. But like for like most people, I always say to them like, there's no harm in having one. Like you never know what you're gonna do, and there's some things that like I recently done an audiobook that was the opposite, where the, the the amount of work that you had to do beforehand and coming in, or maybe reading like I don't know how many pages you're reading in the book. It was all like it was a war book, and it was all like people reflecting and telling back their tales. You were maybe reading one character, but then you also were reading another 15 characters, 20 characters. You have to make differentiate their voices, and maybe you'd have to put on an accent, and just the amount of preparation work for that was insane. Like more prep than you'd have to maybe do like going into some acting like work like jobs. But in audiobooks isn't like the most like glamorous of payments compared to doing like maybe a video game or something that has like a bit more money in it. You kind of do you know what I mean? It swings and roundabouts. Like sometimes it's this amazing thing, and you go, Jesus, I got paid for 10 minutes and I was in and out. And then other times, I'm maybe sitting doing like 8 hours, 10 hours worth of prep for an audiobook that you're sitting like stressing out and thinking, like, can I do this accent? Will I be able to do the accent when we're in the booth? Will I be able to like do it? Like I'm sitting high, doing all the preparation work. When you break it down like that way and you go, oh, maybe I've sat and done like 12 hours of work, and you look at the payment and you go, it's not minimum wage. You know what I mean? Like so it's like different things like that. You kind of experience, but you just do them all because you just go, might lead to like other opportunities, or maybe you'll get to do another audiobook, or there'll maybe come a time where I really want to do a book, or you know what I mean, or maybe they'll want to do some children's book that you get to go and do, like voice a raccoon. And you go, oh, I'm gonna get to go and do this Scottish raccoon's voice, that then somebody sees it and they go, oh, we're gonna turn that book into a kids TV show. They go, well, who voiced the audio? But you know what I mean? You never know what opportunities are going to lead to further opportunities. So I think it's just one of them that you go, like, who am I to turn things down? Unless there's an actual reason, like, you don't want to do something, you don't agree with the text, or you don't agree with, it's asking you to do something out with your comfort zones. Who am I to sit and be like, nah, not for me. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
take everything and hope that, I think work kind of breeds work, and just take everything, give it your best attempt, do it, and then see what happens.
So I want, based on all that you just said, I already have a follow-up question for this next question, but I'm just trying to say it so that I remember it.
Yeah.
You said you had some connections in video games already, like you have the one who came to teach, done
Yeah.
some voice acting for World of Warcraft, for Blizzard. Did that play a role in landing Hazard, or was that completely separate? What was the process like getting involved with Hazard and Overwatch?
No, so like that is like nothing to do with it. Like the only, because that woman just taught me, like I was able to kind of go back to her when I had offers from like different voice agents, or when I was thinking about signing with this, or when I was looking for recommendations on a voice. Like I've been able to like maybe occasionally reach out to her and kind of ask like, oh, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? Like that kind of conversation. But once you've left Guildhall, you know what I mean? Like that kind of relationship kind of. I imagine, like, see, to be fair, like, I imagine most of the lecturers there, if you emailed them and asked anything, do you know what I mean? They would do their best to help you, but they're working, like, you know what I mean? Like, probably 60, 65 hour weeks, like, in an institution like that, with a bunch of new students, like, coming through. So it's kind of like the relationship that you just don't, like, it's not someone you just keep going back to. So it was someone that like I'd maybe lost touch after I'd got a voice agent and everything. And then the only reason I was back in touch again was because I'd done an interview at DreamHack and had like mentioned like this same kind of thing where how influential she was and how amazing like her teaching was and blah blah blah. And then she'd obviously seen it and kind of then was like, "Thank you so much," type thing. Congratulations on Overwatch, blah blah blah. So and I had nothing kind of to do with that. And same like when, I don't know if it's all, but like TV stuff and like Overwatch, definitely like don't use the real names for a lot of things when you're auditioning for them, especially like in the early rounds of it. Like Overwatch was Calypso, I think it was called, on a thing. I mean, like Black Mirror or something. Like they'll use a code name. Like Rings of Power, they use it like a code name. You some things you can kind of gauge, like if you know the kind of world, or if your agent has been like, "Oh, I've got a bunch of people auditioning for this. I know it's Rings of Power." Whereas Overwatch one, my voice agent, I don't think had a great knowledge of games. None of us kind of knew what it was. We're just like, it's a video game. Like, want to go? Like, and do you want to audition for it? And I was like, yeah. Went and auditioned. I think I found out at that audition that it was Overwatch. I'm pretty sure I did. I remember leaving and being like, I remember going, doing it, and thinking like, okay, like, yeah, it's just a video game. Like I don't know what it is. Like, it could be this massive game. It could be not this massive game. Like, chances are it's not a massive game. It's probably I don't know. I'd auditioned for a couple of games before that. I'd never heard of the games or auditioned for games, and I had heard them, and I was like, oh, okay, like, but it wasn't like, do you know what I mean? Like, for someone with like not the world's greatest game knowledge, wasn't Grand Theft Auto, so I was like, what's this? But then when I found out it was Overwatch, then I kind of was like, heard of that? Like, that's definitely like that's like quite a big game. And then like went away and like googled it, and I was like, okay, yeah, right. So I kind of went from like being like, this is what it is, to being like, I hope I get this. Like, and I thought there was two rounds of it, and I thought the first round went terrible. But like, I left and I was a bit like, I don't think that went well, but do you know what? Like, it is what it is. Then I found out it was Overwatch, seen what Overwatch was, and was like, oh no, that could have been a chance to like voice something sick. Like, and then I got recalled, so I was like, thank the Lord. We went back and done it again. It's weird because you don't know what it is. You don't really know. The second round I knew what it was. The first round I didn't. You don't really know what they're looking for. Because you're like, is it some game that like they really want realism, or is it a game that they want you to have this over the top voice that's very like, you know what I mean, like TT Scottish, or is it like something that's like want Shrek's voice? You know what I mean? Like what kind of thing is it you're looking for? But then once I knew what the game was, then I kind of was able to look into like other voice actors and be like, okay, what's their voices like? By that point, you've been recalled. So then you're like, well, they liked what I'd done in the first round. Should I really be changing it? Should I really be changing the voice at this stage when being recalled for your voice? Like, it's just a weird kind of process that. And then same like when you get the job, then you're like, should I change? Like, should I come with different options? But then you know what got you the job is the voice that you'd done. So it was just a bit of a kind of, it's a strange experience, because usually, I guess, acting things, you come with your own interpretation and you just do it, and that's that. Whereas, I don't know, video game, it's a bit more. In acting things, you're reading a script a lot of the times, or at least there's sides, or maybe you know it and you go, oh, okay, there's been a first series of it, or you know the director, so you maybe know the tone of it a bit. So you can kind of be like, I think this is the tone of the series. It's a bit easier to go. Okay, it's a comedy. It's very realistic. Oh, it's these over the top wild characters. Something like, I don't know, Brassic, where you go, oh, okay, I'm able to like this weird wacky character and something, and then you maybe read another comedy and it's very deadpan. With this, it was just a bit more like, I don't really know like what voices and what things they're looking for. It was nice. Yeah, I got it. So I can, do you know what I mean? Like, can't really complain.
Yeah, I could imagine that that's probably like it's got to be a bit of like a mind screw there, just kind of not having an idea of the character. But just did they show you a picture of them or anything like throughout the process?
They said they did. Like, I don't remember them. Like, I don't remember like photos like early on, and I don't remember. I think maybe they showed me like. I think they definitely described the character, but that's the same kind of way of like. I didn't, but like when they kept saying he's a tank, in Scotland, a tank just means like this jacked, muscly guy. Like, oh, you're a tank. I mean, like, I didn't know that was a role in the game, so I didn't know like, oh, a tank. Like, so I was just like, oh, he might be jacked. He might be like big guy. Then you know what I mean? Like those certain things, like oh, he shoots spikes. He has this purple goo wall thing that will shoot out. But then obviously then they describe like, oh, he's a anarchist, and he like kind of like talking about like, oh, where would he, what kind of people like thing, and you're like, oh, maybe like Camden in London, like that sort of like punk, like. So you kind of like all of this, and you kind of have like a kind of maybe it'll look like that, maybe this, maybe that. And you've seen like when they showed at DreamHack, like some of the initial concept things that they were showing and different things that it was always changing and you didn't really know. So it's a bit strange because you don't know what the character 100% looks like, and then also working with like one person on the call that's like designed the character, is created the character, made it up, but then you're also working with the director. So then it's also like they two are kind of, you're just kind of, if they say, I'm always on my worst behaviour, you give like 3 versions of that. If they like one of the first 3 that you do, just say, or maybe say, like, if it was used to, you just go, I liked 1, he goes, I liked 2. And they'll kind of listen back on them and then go, okay, yeah, I'll agree, we'll go 2. Sometimes maybe they'll go, oh, can we hear it again, but can you do it like this? Or would I say, like, what's the kind of, when would he say this in the game? What will be happening when the game, like, when will this be said? Is it, you know what I mean, like, middle of battle? Is it when he's fighting? Is it he's just killed someone? You know what I mean? Then there'll be little bits like that. But you're kind of like, it's not like you get to read the script and then come prepared. You're just reading it as it's in front of you. You know what I mean? So you're just kind of like going off of pure vibe with it. Like, okay, like, yeah. I think as well, like, there's things that I think I've kind of developed, and there's things now that I look at and I go, the character's a bit more like this. Like, maybe I would have done this, or maybe I could have done that. And I think the director like quite liked like a lot of the like rooted realism. Let's say it like, do you know what I mean? Like it's a TV thing, and then sometimes the person that created it was like, we need more. You know, we need more energy. We need more this. But it's a very like collaborative experience, but it's also like hard. It's strange and do you know what I mean? Like you're kind of going off of like, oh, it's an anarchist and it's this and it's that and it's this and it's this. And then it kind of gets released and then everybody's like, oh, the character's this massive goofball that... And that's just kind of like grown arms and legs that you then go, oh, maybe we could have done this like this, or maybe like, oh, there's certain lines like, maybe we could have said a bit more. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think because you're not there when the character's being created, then it makes it like a hard experience to go like, okay, like maybe like that. Like you're kind of like saying like, oh, maybe like the voice, I could do this or I could do that. You're not there when the character's actually being made and knowing everything and getting to look and see like, oh, okay, like, and everybody's work kind of comes together. Maybe everybody wasn't there. Definitely not for the voice part. So I don't know. It's just a hard like kind of. I imagine all video games are like that. Do you know what I mean? That's the way the voice actors work. Is probably massively separate from the people that are developing the games and designing the games and coming up with the characters and this, that you get little bits to go off, but there's also so much other stuff that's also going on. It was easy to like make suggestions, but you also don't really know. We're suggesting things based on like, we're suggesting things that like, oh, maybe he would say this because he's Scottish, rather than, or maybe he would say this because he's this massive lovable goofball. You know what I mean? Or maybe he would do this, or maybe he would, inflections would be like this. You know what I mean? Like you're kind of going off of, he's Scottish, so maybe he'd say this, or you know what I mean, he's a punk, so maybe like even that I wouldn't say like massively come into it. It's more like it was dialect things and slang and bringing in those sort of things. I think like if you knew like some of the emotes that he has and stuff, and the kind of the silly like nature of it, and the whole like sticking the tongue out and all of this, then maybe that would change little things that you would do, or maybe you would be like, oh, okay, I'm going to make him more silly. I'm going to make him more kind of like doesn't massively understand what everybody's talking about. Doesn't this? Maybe doesn't this? Like, and I think like there's now lines that like I go, oh, it would be cool if he said this, or it'd be cool if he said that, or I mean, because you start to learn more about the lore of the character. Some of the last things we done was like the comic strip thing. That's when you found out loads about the character. But that's when you kind of seen a lot of like the design and stuff. So then when you see all of that, you're kind of like, that would have been good to see that.
Yeah.
Like that would have been really good to see right at the start and work from there.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. You know, the difference between the classic game voice actor of going huh, huh, and then all the one-liners, and then getting to do the comic where you really get to actually be Hazard and not just say a bunch of random lines.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's like I can't remember what is the three. There's the comic, then the trailer, cinematic trailer thing, and then the gameplay. And so the cinematic trailer and the comic, I think we done both near the end. I really like the comic. The cinematic trailer I wasn't crazy about. It's more because we were like, we'll just use your own voice rather than it being like heightened and stuff and like more larger than life. So when I heard that, I was a bit like, and obviously they do a bunch of, with the gameplay stuff, they then do like edits to your voice, and you know what I mean, add like bits and pieces. Whereas that's just my voice, like straight up. And I liked the comic because it was me narrating a story, so it was just me. I was like, I like that. That's nice. Whereas the trailer was just me, but it was also the character. Then there was no edits to it. Like, so I just wasn't like, just was like, well, that's not, two don't mesh as well as like I would have liked it to. You know what I mean? That's just like, it's just like a miscommunication, say, from the person that was on the call, that was because it wasn't the same person that had actually designed the story that I'd been with all throughout it. It was like somebody else came on to do it. I'm pretty sure, maybe like, but I'm 90% sure it was someone different, then the director, then me. And I think it was just a miscommunication of the three of what we were looking for with it, that I would have rather had done more Hazard voice for it. And that was the first one released, and I was a bit like, fuck. Like, oh, and then the comic book one, and the gameplay one, I was like, right, sound like I'm fine now, relaxed. But the first one, I was like, oh, that's not what I thought this was gonna be. What was the? Oh, yeah. So it's sorry. So it's nice. It's nice to be able to like actually spend a bit of time and do like the comic book thing and have a bit more where you're like, but it's hard. It's like some of the things that you don't think would be the hardest, or like some of the hardest. Like, I remember, some things were like really natural, like, which it isn't in the game as of yet. So I don't know what there must be something coming with it, but like there's a little like, I'm eating noodles. I don't know what it will be used for, if it ever is used. Like, my noises of me eating the noodles was so good. Like, I remember doing it and being like, same with like electrocuted. I was like, oh, this is sick. Like, I was like, not to blow my own trumpet, but I was like, oh, this is sick. And then some of the like falls where it would be like, you know, like some of them, like people send me, I'm like, oh, I remember doing that and thinking like, I like that. Then there was some things that were just like solid, like just ones that you were like the fall. They've used the long version of it, but they were like done this like a fall that was like, you know what I mean, like old school, like cartoony kind of, as it was going away. Oh, like
They put those in game too.
yeah, and I really
Yeah.
like it. They were like, can you do that again? But can you do it instead? That's 10 seconds. Can you do that in 2? I was like, I don't think that's humanly possible to shift. Like, the point is that it's long. Like, so there was like some things like that you were just like, like, yeah, let's attempt it. And I can't remember some of the other ones, but there was like ones that were just like you would see up on the board and be like, I don't know what this noise is going to be like, like, oh, like red in it. But there was some like jumps. There was like 7 jumps, and we're like, I'll just make a like small jump noise, like you're just like whatever. And I was just like perfect. It's like 4. And I was like, can you do 3 lower than that? But I mean, where you were like, I don't know if I can like go 3 like smaller than like like it was just like some you were just like, my God, this is hard. And then just like same, like there's just some lines that, you know what I mean, were more off the cuff kind of things that have kind of become like quite lines that like people will send me a lot of the time, or lines that like I personally like, and you go, I don't even remember like recording that, or like I remember recording it and being like, okay, like the dog barking, I'm in the woof woof.
I was
That's
gonna
like
ask you about that.
that's like my favourite line in it now. Like, can't remember. I think I'm not 100% sure. Like, I would need to like ask Jude, the story, like the person that created it all. I've got a feeling that it was like a thing on the screen was like I wasn't meant to do the dog. Like, that it was like, oh, it was just an insertion of like, oh, we need to get a dog noise. And then I done a dog noise, and then we're like, it's like let's use that for something else. I think I can never remember a line just being woof woof and stuff like that. So like, I think it was like there was like, I think it was actually when we were doing the story, like the comic or the, it must have been the comic. There's a dog, and I think it was something about like, oh, dog noise, and we just done it like kind of like I was just like, oh, woof woof, and then we kept it. Because like obviously like the comic books, you voice everything. You know what I mean? The news reporters and all of that stuff, and Susie and everyone else, you kind of just do it because you're narrating. And I'm pretty sure that's how the dog noise came. I'm saying that, and then somebody else might come along and be like, no, I remember we recorded it in the second week, and I'll be like, oh, completely forgot about that. Yeah, so we did. That's how I think. So it's just like some things like that, and then can't really remember now, but like I remember there being like some lines that like I was like, oh, I like this. Then it's like either they're saving it and they'll use it at a later date, or change their mind and they were like, we don't need that, or we're gonna go with this.
Nice. So out of like recording lines up until now, what have you like come to enjoy the most about Hazard as a character?
I think like actual just him. Like just him as a character. I think I've liked this whole like kind of narrative of that he's a bit more, because I think like the whole punk and the whole anarchist and that it's an attitude and it's a personality, and I think like anyone can be punk and anyone can be an anarchist and anyone can be fuck the system, and do you know what I mean, all of that sort of stuff. I think it's like almost discriminating to say like this massive muscly guy couldn't be these sort of things. I do think that like, yeah, there maybe would be things, you know what I mean, like that could make him look more like that, or could be certain things. And when people kind of ask me like, oh, I thought he was going to be like this, I thought he was going to like the Freak, the concept art from like from the old thing, and I was like, well, and people were like, oh, and I'm like, nothing to do with me. like I'm not some like massive jacked guy. Like I was voicing this like little skinny punk guy, like probably be more visually accurate to like what I look like, or if he had this or he had that, like that'd be sweet. I think I've started to like the whole like that he's almost moved into this sort of like really lovable, has his friends back, will do anything for anyone, kind of little bit goofy kind of nature, like quite like a bit ADHD over the top, like oh, here I am and I'm big and I'm in your space and I'm loud and I'm gonna say something that's stupid and I'm gonna like, I just think like that sort of thing I've quite like enjoyed, and I think that if we do ever like end up going back to record more things, and I think I'd like to like lean into that kind of thing like a little bit more. Not maybe be so. I think a lot of things where we're like, oh, he hates this person, he's angry. Whereas I think like if we got to do some things again, then I think like, yeah, he's angry, but he's also like he also has that kind of dog off a lead nature as well. Mm-hmm. But I think like could be fun to play about with him a bit more and add some more stuff like that, and in a bit like some of the lines, you know what I mean, the woof woof stuff like that. Like I think like if there was more lines like that, more like just fun like things about the freaks and making like jokes and off the cuff, and you know what I mean, like constantly winding people up and killing people and then having like little like weird. Like I just think like some more stuff like that would be really fun to do.
Yeah.
I think maybe that, because I think he's almost slotted into that kind of thing. But I don't know how much is like Overwatch done, and I don't know how much is like Overwatch fans have just made him like, oh, he's this like goofy character. He's like a dog off his lead. He's like just always about, and you know what I mean, running about like a dog in a field. But I like it, so I think that's like something that I didn't really expect, and I'm like, okay, like maybe that.
Do
And
you? Yeah,
and the
go
fact
ahead.
that like there's a turtle shell almost, and spikes coming out his back, and you know what I mean. Like I think there's like some things that I think are really like quite. Like you look at him and I kind of go like, he's a bit like. There's some things that I go, oh, he's quite like Bowser from Mario Kart and Super Mario, and then I look at him and I go, oh, there's some like that like purpley goo, like, oh, it's a bit like Venom. No, I'm probably not allowed to say that. Marvel rivals. But like that sort of like thing. So I think there's like some like quite cool like characters that I really like that visually he kind of almost represents in some way, or like has things that I like about him. So I guess maybe some things like that as well.
Do you feel like, obviously, it sounded like in the process, until the later in the process, in the end, it was kind of hard to know what kind of character he is. Now that he's been out, to the public, and yes, the game has done things, and like you said, the fans have maybe, they have their own perception of the character. Do
Yeah.
you do you relate a lot to Hazard? Do you have a little bit of an anarchy
Yeah,
streak in you? Are you goofy? Are you a goofball?
yeah. I think like there's a lot of like being from Glasgow, being working class, like there's a lot of things that's like very anti-establishment that I thought was very easy to kind of like lean into, and getting to be like quite like, oh, do you know what, like we're underrepresented, like it's not fair, like this is the way the world is, why is everything, and there's a lot of things like that I think is like massively unfair in the world that goes on constantly. I think that was easy to kind of lean into that for that kind of aspect, and I think I am someone that like always will like go the extra mile for like people I care about, and will like defend them at the hill. And I am very like a lot of jobs, like not acting jobs, but like retail jobs I've worked in. Do you know what I mean? I've been sacked from because like I can't keep my mouth shut if I think something isn't fair. And if I don't agree with something, like I'm not going to do it, and I have very strong morals and I won't compromise them. I think there's like things like that I can like take and be like, yep, okay, we're like that. I think that then the whole like kind of silly, goofy side of it is also quite like he's a massive man child, like that sort of thing. Like I think also I can like relate to, and I think there's like some things that do you know what I mean? Like I think that the personalities quite merge quite nicely together. Of like the way I am and the way he is, and things that I'll tweet about, you know what I mean? And the little things that I think people are like, Hazard would definitely have this, or like people ask me like things like, what do you think like Hazard would have in this situation? I think it's quite a lot of the times like I'm just saying what I would do. People are like taking it as canon, and being like, yeah, 100%. I think it's quite easy in that kind of respect that I think we probably are quite aligned. And then I think that when I was at like DreamHack, for example, like a bunch of people were kind of like, I think it was like some of the more like Overwatch, like the original game, I think a lot of the voice cast were more using voices compared to I think like maybe more of the newer characters that come out is more rooted in like their actual voices. Definitely with like an actual Scottish person voicing a Scottish character, or an actual Swedish person voicing a Swedish character, you know what I mean, or like that sort of thing. That I think like a lot of people were like, "Oh, are you just always doing the voice?" It's like, nah, this is just This is just the way I speak. You know what I mean? This is just like me speaking. Which is nice in a way. Also, sometimes I'm like, maybe I could have changed that a bit, eh? But like, because like when I play it now, I almost immune to it because I'm just like, it's just me. It's not like a voice, it's just me. So it's just like my inner voice anyway. So I'm just like, and I can block it out. But yeah, I think definitely like that it's far more rooted. Yeah, I think me and the character are very rooted as one, almost. And whether that was intentional or whether it wasn't intentional, I don't know. I think like because because I didn't come in for the audition, do some massively caricature Scottish voice for it. I think that they probably would have looked at my voice and been like, let's find someone that matches the character then if that's what they were looking for. So obviously there must have been something that they thought, oh, these two, this character and this person are quite similar in one. Because I wasn't doing a character, I was kind of just doing the voice lines as me. But I guess like there is that kind of we are one.
Authenticity.
Yeah, we are one.
I like that. So we mentioned you've done some streams. You've been now since Hazard is out for a while now, but you've been streaming. You've been playing Hazard. So as someone who's newer to playing Overwatch, what's one piece of advice that you wish you would have learned before playing?
You can fall off the map. like you can fall off the map. Like I think like also like maybe knowing other characters' abilities. Because like some like when other people are on my team and they're like, oh, they've just put out May and they've just put out Diva and all of these sort of things like, oh, Roadhog's chain, these like things. I'm like, no idea like what any of this means. So I think maybe like I don't know if there probably is a YouTube video. Do you know what I mean? That like probably goes through all the characters' abilities and like in a quick way. If there isn't, please someone make it. I think like I think maybe that would be knowing a bunch of the other characters' abilities. Knowing like sometimes you see people changing mid game, like, and I'm like, I don't get why you're changing mid game. Like, what? Just shooting in it. And then kind of like, I don't think I could play like support because I don't know what a support does. Like, I know you're meant to like heal the tank and you know what I mean, like try and like keep your teammates alive and that. I don't think that with a lot of games, if you don't get into it when they first come out, they're hard to jump into. And I think that almost like stops games getting new players. For example, like Fortnite. Like someone told me recently, you can play a mode that no one can like build up and do these massive like things. You can play modes like that. Whereas I played it once and everyone was building things and I had no idea what I was doing and I was just like, oh, that's like I can't be bothered like trying to learn this like new game. Or other people will say like, I think like if you're a kid and you're learning new games, it's easy. As an adult, learning new games is like hard, especially like
learning a new language.
Yeah, and it's especially like started playing Cyberpunk, and then went home for Christmas, back to play it, and I couldn't remember any of the buttons. I'd done all the tutorial stuff and I couldn't remember anything, and I was like, whereas like Grand Theft Auto that I played as a kid, I remember the buttons. Like it's almost like second nature where I'm like, oh yeah, this is exactly what it is. Oh yeah, that's drive. Yep, that's shoot. Oh yep, that's how it. You know what I mean? Like, I think like, and then like things with like gameplay even, like figuring out like what all these things I don't know how people like learn about a game like now, even like during COVID when everybody moved on to Warzone. I remember being like, honey, play that. Then a couple of weeks had went past, and I was just like, I just went on and I was just cannon fodder. And I was just like, I remember like playing it, and someone messaged me being like, oh, do you want to play again? I was like, yeah, yeah. And they were like, go on the other team though. I was like, and I was like,
Wow.
all right. I was like, oh, okay. I'm just gonna go back. I'm just gonna go back and play FIFA. Like, fuck this. I think it's just like, it's hard. But like, and I guess I'm in a really fortunate position as well, where like people are really patient because it's like I'm the voice actor of it, or like people want to help you.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't know if that would necessarily be the case if it was just a brand new player coming along and being like, oh, can I just jump in this game? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how friendly the Overwatch community and gaming communities are in general with someone just jumping in and being like, I'm gonna jump in and play ranked. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
as a brand new player, I imagine someone might be like, get out.
Oh, they're evil. They can be evil.
Yeah. Like, I have games, you know what I mean, that like play Football Manager religiously. Like, I play it like it's it's like a job. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've got it uploaded just now. I just never close it. Like, it's like sitting on my laptop now. And I remember saying to like one of my mates during COVID, like, I'm gonna play it. And I remember just thinking, like, cause I'd played it with my dad, like championship managers, since I was like 8. I just know the game backwards and like where everything is, and I've just grew up playing it. And I remember like watching one of my mates, and I was just like, I physically like don't know how to. I don't know how to teach you this, because for me it's second nature. And then I played with like some other guys that I knew that also played it from when they were younger and that, and it was just so smooth and more just like firing through things. And whereas my mate was just like, didn't know good players, didn't know how to scout players, didn't know, and it was just like, and I feel like a game like that, which is the same with like Overwatch and everything, that has so much detail in it, so hard to just come along and pick up. But I think like it's good with adding new modes and stuff like that, and bringing back 6v6 and bringing in Stadium, that maybe people can jump into these things, or having the, I mean, even the training though, you kind of like go in there and it's like, just you shooting objects that are just standing still. Like, it's a bit like, I don't know, maybe there could be like a tutorial type thing to kind of help you like learn a character like fully, and to doing this and what to maybe like that some other like story based games have more tutorials at the start. Maybe there could be some. Maybe there isn't. I just don't know.
There is. It's just not good.
But yeah. So yeah, know what other players' abilities are. Wish I knew how to not fall off the map. I don't know. And then some. Luckily, like one of the people from Blizzard kind of jumped on a game with me, and kind of spoke me through. And same when I was at DreamHack, kind of spoke me through like the game modes of like, okay, this is, you're trying to catch the objectives here. You're trying to get the robot from this to that and push the payload. You know, all of these things that I think kind of had a bit more of a like, oh, okay, right, yeah, got you. Whereas, had no one spoke through that with me. Would be like, I remember before DreamHack, I jumped on like to play a little bit just to like see some things, and when we were like recording lines still, I remember just jumping in a game, and I just thought it was like COD Battle Royale essentially. Obviously, like there is these things that people are like trying to, like the percentages. I just thought that was like damage. It was like, oh, once you've done 100% damage to the other team, that's what that is. Because I was just watching a percentage like go up with no idea of like, oh, you've got to capture objectives and blah blah blah. So I don't know if there's like, maybe there is in it, but maybe things that spoke you through those kind of things would be good. Because as I say, I'm in this kind of blessed position where people will take that extra bit of time to sit and go through things with you. But I imagine if I wanted to go and play another franchise game, or that no one from Overwatch played, you know what I mean, that didn't want to sit and just play with me, or pre Hazard. Imagine if I just put on Twitter being like, someone teach me how to play Overwatch. I'm sure there'd be some people that would be like, yeah, like really lovely people. I'll never know. Because now I know. Now I know people will say yes because it's because you're in the game. Whereas, but same with all things, isn't it? There probably is people that are absolutely lovely that will sit and show anyone because it's their life and it means the absolute world to them, and getting to sit and teach someone something new is amazing. I don't have the patience for it, but like, you know what I mean? Like, there's other things that I want to do, and I'm like now in this like lovely position where you can almost be like, I can almost be on Twitter and be like, how do I stream? Someone from the gaming community will now tell me. You know what I mean? Or I could be like, does anyone know, can someone explain the rules of Yu-Gi-Oh to me now? I only played the first, like, I only played it when I was young. I want to play it again. And someone will tell you, which is like a lovely position to be in, because everyone in my life will be like we'll say that, like, I'll ask a question of like, would I do this? And I'll expect someone else to like almost Google it for me when they're just doing the exact same thing, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm a bit like that, or I'll be like, oh, I need to turn my CV into a PDF. I don't know how to do that. And I'm kind of waiting on like, you know what I mean, like my girlfriend or like my mum or like my sister or someone to say like, I'll do it. Like, I'll help you. And, you know, my dad's worse than me, so like he wouldn't, but like, you know what I mean, like that sort of kind of like, I'm a wee bit like that when it comes to certain things. I have no patience to learn something new. But if someone will sit with me and teach me, then I'm like, yeah, okay, thank you. Or if someone will just do it for me, that's even better. But I think now that like honestly, like when I was first trying to stream, I had not a clue. Thankfully, like there was just people that were like, I want to watch the voice actor of Hazard stream, so yep, let me help. Or maybe they're just, I'm saying that, maybe it's just people that are absolutely the nicest people in the world and are just like, I'll help any random stranger. Do you know what I mean? And then there just is that kind of thing that my flatmate, again, he's one of these people that's like, oh, I'll bet, like, I don't know how to do this. I'm going to go and watch a tutorial and I'm going to learn how to do this. Whereas I'm a bit more like, I don't know how to do this and I never will. Oh my God. So that's an insight.
I think we already answered my next question, or we kind of already like delved into it. So was there, did you want to hop on to the next one, Ease?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we already touched a little bit on this as well, but for, you know, there's a lot of people, like you mentioned, people are interested in voice acting and people like voice actors. But do you have any tips for anyone who would be interested in getting into voice acting? You talked about the struggles of finding jobs
Yeah.
in general and auditions, but yeah, do you have any tips?
I think like it's difficult because I think that I'm coming at it with someone that got it through being at drama school. But I was almost in this really fortunate position where it was like super easy to email voice agents because I already had Guildhall gave us like a voice reel, and they gave us a like, here's you reading a book, and then I have like obviously acting clips so people can hear your voice. And you also have like, I can't remember, I think what it was like a commercial reel, so it was like 3 commercials, then there was one of me reading a book. So you kind of have that kind of thing already, like for free and ready to send out. Then when you get a voice agent, they will often be like, you now need something of a better quality, like let us hook you up with our voice technician, or a voice technician we use a lot of the time, and we'll make a new reel, including like games and including like other things. Or like just like quick or snappy or like whatever it is. But I think it's like really difficult for me. A lot of people kind of message me and maybe will ask that kind of question. And a lot of the time I'm kind of like, it's hard for me to say because I'm not just someone that started as a voice actor. I'm not someone that just went, I want to do voice acting, that's all I want to do. I want to go and... I think it's different if someone wants to be a voice actor or if someone wants to be an actor. If someone wants to be an actor, then I'd probably say go to drama school. Or if you're young enough, start young and get an agent, because agents want, like always there's open casting calls for kids. I mean, I imagine the Harry Potter series now that's about to happen will probably be an open casting call, as it was when Daniel Radcliffe and all of them got it. Constantly, like, you see casting directors putting up things and they're looking for kid actors. They're never looking for adult actors. Like, that'll go through your agent because there's loads of adult actors, whereas like they're always looking for children actors, like especially the younger the better, like when it comes to it starting. So I think like if I was sitting and I was like 18, 19, 20, I think like it'd be like apply for drama school, apply for like make things yourself, like apply to like other organisations like Open Door, or like in London like National Youth Theatre, like all of these things that I think like are really good. Do these things and go watch things. Learn about acting like by watching like good acting. I think if you want to just be a voice actor, I think I'm not 100% sure because I don't know all the voice actors on Overwatch. I don't know. I feel like some of them maybe are solely voice actors. Or like started. I know Matilda started. I feel like there's something to do with her family. Either are like involved in games or involved in voice acting, or maybe they are voice actors. I can't remember exactly. But I remember like I feel like she is a voice actress. Or voice actor, sorry. Maybe someone like that. And she's like the loveliest person in the world. Like, I'm sure if like anybody really actually wanted to know and really wanted to pursue, I'm sure like she either would answer it on her own Twitch, or she would, I'm sure, like up something. Maybe someone like that would be more like clued on to like kind of answer how you go about it, without me just saying like I maybe would say a voice reel, like things that it's like if I'd just said though, if someone just said to me get a voice reel myself, I wouldn't know where really to start, nor would I have known what to come with. I think like you would need to come with like some commercials that suit you, pick maybe an audiobook that suits you that you think you could read. Like I read Trainspotting, went on James McAvoy's commercial reel and just like was like, okay, like what's he done? Oh, whiskey one. Yep, I'll do a whiskey thing. Yep. What's he done? Oh, one about homeless shelter in Scotland. Yep, okay, I'll take that. And you just record it as you saying it. I think you need, not 100% sure, but I feel like more people look for a voice reel like you doing audiobooks, and that is, I think it's quite rare that someone just comes and says like, because that's a bit like, I was a bit like, I want to do games and I want to do cartoons. That's also quite like it's not like bread and butter kind of jobs that a lot of people will do. I don't think it's as simple as you want to do cartoons and you want to do video games. You'll do cartoons and you'll do video games. You know what I mean? Like I like I would love to sit and go like, oh, I've had so many auditions for video games and so many auditions for cartoons, when it's not really the case. Do you know what I mean? Like, especially like something that's maybe like, it's cartoon. I don't think I've ever had video games. It's only a couple. I mean, and even then, since doing like Overwatch, it's not as if like there's been so many video games now where like, oh, can you do this? Can you do that? So much of things is records in America. I think American voice actors are far busier and have far more like an industry over there that does do so much stuff. I don't think the UK has that. So maybe again, like, it's not really something that's video games and stuff you're interested in. Then I think like you'd have to probably, and we are from the States, you would have to probably ask someone from the States that has a far better knowledge of it than what I would have. That I'm not like it's just like not something I sit and I go like, oh, I've got to do this video game and that video game and this video game. And I maybe would be like, oh, okay, I'm in this thing. I also have a niche voice. You know what I mean? Like, most things are American. And then if it's the UK, most things are London voices. Do you know what I mean? Like English RP voices. So you kind of sit and you go, well, hopefully there'll be a Scottish character in something that comes out in the future. Like, but even games that you look at and you go, massive Marvel Rivals is big. Now, you go, they'll probably all be American. Might be an occasional character that maybe has like a Russian accent, or it's like a even some of the other characters, you know what I mean? Like, still Americanized. If you watch the films, do you know what I mean? It's not like Shang-Chi has like it's an American accent. So I think like things like that, and you go, there's no Scottish Marvel character. So unless they, which I think is amazing with Overwatch, because it is so diverse and has such good representation of so many different communities, cultures, accents, nationalities, everything. Like, I mean, when you have a franchise like that, it's kind of American franchise, but maybe they will do something different and they'll go, oh, we're going to make, I know he's already a character in it, but like, we're going to make Rocket Raccoon Scottish, for whatever reason. You know what I mean? Like, we'll do this, we'll do that, we'll do, you know what I mean? So, I think it's, for a long answer short, I would get a voice reel. I would go look at voice actors' pages on their acting, their agencies. I'd go and look at them, and I would kind of look and see what they've done and what material they have, or recent graduates probably is even a better one. Like someone that's just left, if it's the UK, like someone that's just left drama school and has a voice agent that went to like RADA, Guildhall, Lambda, all these organisations, and then look at their pages on their voice agents thing and be like, okay, what material do they have up? Because that's going to be what they've either got from a drama school, or it's going to be the first reel they have. And then it's maybe a good indication of like, okay, right, I need to get this, or this is the basics that I need. And then maybe start looking for things. I honestly, I don't massively know. I think America's massively different when it comes to that sort of thing. I don't massively know in the UK how we'll just become voice actors. But I have worked with people that solely do voice acting, like for the women in games, the women streamers advert. There was a guy there that just does voiceover. That's all he does is voiceover. I have no idea how he got into it. It's hard to comment on something. Maybe finding people like that have Instagrams that are just voiceover actors and VO and look at those kind of people and maybe see if they've ever put up videos to kind of be like, this is how I got started, this is a beginner's thing, this is for how I got into the industry. Go like that. Maybe find someone that's more like you, what you want, like whatever your starting point is. If you're someone in like drama school, then you have like a question, feel free to like ask me. Then I can give you like, this is what I done, this is this. Whereas I think it's just such a broad thing of how do you get started when everyone's journey is different, that you need to find someone that's like you or like has the same background as you or starting point.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds like good advice in general, just having some sort of voice reel, right? You need to be able to show off what you do. And if it is just finding, you don't have to have jobs to have a voice reel. It sounds like, you just looked up what other people do and then do it yourself.
Yeah. You literally just copy, do your own interpretation of it, but just go on, watch, find commercials, find games, find things, or if it's a game, you don't even need to do a game. You can write your own little script and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do anything like that as long as it's of a good enough quality. If not, pull things from other things, and go get a professional voice reel. And then you need to start emailing agents. Probably, I imagine, is the next step you would need to take. Then, if people are emailing agents and they want to ask what to say, fair enough. Then like, you can ask. If I feel free to ask me. You know what I mean?
Love it.
Then maybe I can be like, okay, I would say this, I would say that, I would say this.
So you heard it here. Just reach out to Conor on any social media, I suppose. And we'll get to this.
You can, but I mean, my answer in DMs is terrible. So, yeah, for some reason, if you ask me something publicly, like, I respond far better.
Just add him.
DMing me, I don't know why. It's just like, just goes into a graveyard. Unless like sometimes people will just catch me on the right day, and I'll just respond to everything or as much as I can. Like, I don't know, some people will ask me like, oh, it's my friend's birthday, like, can you please like send them a message or stuff like this. Like, with that I don't mind, and then I'll be like, shit, they sent it 2 weeks ago. My birthday is tomorrow. And I'm like,
Oops.
like, I'll still message the person and be like, hey, happy birthday 2 weeks ago. Like, we had a lovely time 2 weeks ago.
I love that. That's great. We'll wrap up, but just a quick little. We don't have to talk too much about that, but they've announced that BlizzCon is coming in 2026.
Yeah.
You've tweeted about it. Will we see you at BlizzCon?
I hope so. Like, this is the thing. Like, I've had the best time of my life at DreamHack, and I don't even want to go to these things. To go and be like, to do a Q&A or to do these like things. Like, obviously, like, if you got to do these other opportunities with it, that'd be amazing. Just actually going and being at the thing is so unbelievable. Like, it's just such a like experience, and I think it's beautiful. Like I before Overwatch and stuff, I went Comic-Con once. I remember just like walking, like just being in it and being like, I mean this in the nicest, kindest way, not like patronising in any way. I just was like, there's so many people, I imagine, depending on what age you are, because I think the world is a nicer place, especially when it comes to games and streaming and getting to do your own thing. And all of these things, like, people have a wee bit more opportunity to be individuals. So many things that when I would be growing up in school, I imagine liking certain things like that, especially in like Scotland, and I imagine other places in the UK are the same. it wouldn't be celebrated. You know what I mean? And probably grew up having quite a hard time, like, liking cosplaying or being like obsessed with games. Like there's some things that I liked growing up. That, you know what I mean? Either sometimes I would embrace it, but for the certain periods of my life, like probably like just kept it to myself. Love wrestling. I was not going into school and saying I loved wrestling. You know what I mean? Like, or I'd be sitting on like little forums talking to like other people that are obsessed with wrestling. Best believe I was not saying to my mates like, I should go read my fantasy booking of the WWE just now and seeing what I would do different on a show. Best believe I wasn't saying that to any of my mates. But when you went to like something like that, it was like all these people just. It was like somebody that was cosplaying amazing was like a celebrity at it. I mean, and they're walking about and everybody wanted to take photos and everybody was coming up. And I felt the same at DreamHack. There'd be people coming up and obviously talking to you and they'd be like, these are my best friends. Like, one would live in London and one would live in Sweden. You know what I mean? They play games together every day. An event like this like meant they were coming together. But there was couples that met through Overwatch and other, you know what I mean, like it was mainly Overwatch people I was speaking to, but other games like that would have been. I just think like it's so hard to go to something like that and not just completely like fall in love with it. So like, best believe like I want to go to DreamHack Dallas. DreamHack Dallas aren't like taking voice actors. I'm like, you're taking all these streamers and stuff, like just let me come. I'll just let me just come and like pretend I'm streaming or something. Just let me like come. Like I don't want to pay to go to America. Like that's so expensive. Like, and it's in America.
Yeah,
like or do DreamHack Scotland, do DreamHack Glasgow, and then I'll. And you know what? And no excuses. Then I'll be there. Paying for my own ticket, paying for my own, I won't pay for my own, I'll stay at my mum's. Do DreamHack London. Then like I can just go to these things. I mean, Stockholm's not that bad, do you know what I mean? Like if you did just want to go as a fan, which I would at this point. Like going to Dallas is so expensive. I'm going to Shanghai. You know what I mean? Like that's some like next level stuff, and I'm like, I don't want to come because I don't want to come because I'm like, I want to come and I mean, promote me and talk about me. I want to go because I want to just go and see all these people that I got to meet in Stockholm that are American. Like, that was the thing, like, when it ended, I was like, I'm going to see these people again, like, until maybe next year, or, you know what I mean? And you just go, like, like, not even DreamHack, like, GoFundMe, start a GoFundMe and let me go to DreamHack, like Dallas or Shanghai and that, and like just get to spend this time or all of these kind of events. Because I think BlizzCon will be amazing, and I'm hoping. I hope that when it comes to BlizzCon, I'm not sure how they work it. If it's just open invitation to the voice actors, if they'll select certain people. If they'll do this or they'll do that. I would like to hope that it'll be, because it has such a diverse voice acting cast of people that stay all over the world and stuff. I would like to hope that it'll be, you know what I mean, they'll pull amongst all of these people to bring them like all together. I think would be really nice. Or at least the people that are like are more vocal and like take the time out to like interact with the Overwatch community and, you know what I mean, do all these other things. Like, because I think like I see other voice actors in Overwatch that do constantly, do you know what I mean, like always talking about Overwatch, always interacting, always going and meeting people, always going and doing this. I just think like hope they get to go. You know what I mean? Like, I hope they're the people that get to, like, go and meet all these people that they're constantly interacting with or giving things to, and, do you know what I mean? Like, embracing it and, like, will go and give everything to it and aren't just there like, oh, cool. I mean, I'm saying that, but I've only met 3 of them. They were all like exactly the experience that I felt like I had. Do you know what I mean? They were all like saying like when it was them, they had the same experience and absolutely loved it. And we're like, and people that I constantly see, either where it's Matilda that's always like twitching and on stream and talking to people and doing all of that, or it's Carolina and Sombra and Symmetra that are always at these kind of like events and everything like that. Angie and Carolina like always kind of popping up at different Comic-Cons and online and doing these things and making videos for fans and doing everything that you go, oh, okay, like fully invested in it. But I hope that Blizzard bring everybody.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
so cool. So
Yeah.
we definitely hope to see you at BlizzCon. But until then, if people want more Conor in their life, where can they catch you? Upcoming productions or social medias? What do you got going? Where can people find you?
Yeah, just finished a film, my first ever feature film, which is really nice. But I haven't announced the cast of it, so I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say it or not. So I'm just going to be like, I'm sure it'll be all over like when it does get announced and when we're allowed to say. Not that it's before I say that, it's not Star Wars or Marvel or something. You know what I mean? Like it's a period piece. That like I've been away in Venice and I'm back home and like spending some time with my family just now. But when I'm back to London, then I'm hoping I'll be streaming more often and kind of be far more consistent with it and play some other games and do some other things and that kind of always active. If it's Twitter, sit and talk about all things Overwatch. It's Instagram, and it will be talking about. It won't be me talking. It'll be me posting pictures of me going out runs and doing things like that. So whatever you want to catch me on, do you know what I mean? Like if you want Overwatch stuff, Twitter's the place, or X is the place. X and Twitch. If you want to just look at my life and see what I'm doing, then Instagram.
Great. We'll have links to those in the description below. Conor Golden Boy on most places, right?
On Instagram. On Instagram, it's Conor McLeod, Golden Boy. I think I could fit my full name in it. But then on X, there's Conor Golden Boy. I don't know what it is on Twitch. I think it's just my actual name. I think it is. So many people kept making fun of me, like, is it my battle pass or my battle net, whatever it is.
Yeah.
My username on actual on Overwatch is just my name. So it's like
Conor McLeod 17. Yep.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like so many people, it was just like, oh, you're meant to use a fake name. Like you're meant to like use a thing. So like, at least if anybody plays with me in lobbies, they know exactly who it is because I wasn't smart enough to be like Hazard fan. It's just straight up, just like Conor McLeod 17, and then I'm going to lobby and everybody's names are like things, and I'm like, probably should have used a nickname or something. Shit.
It's all right. You want to show off that you're out there, so it's good.
I mean, yeah. Until I go on some. I mean, recently I actually have started playing just with everybody to start with. It's because somebody told me like your BattleNet, like you could only have so many people.
Yeah.
Like when they said you can only have so many people, I thought it was like 30 people. Then it was like 400 or something you can have. I mean, all right, okay. And then I put it up. I was just like, oh, that's my BattleNet. Like, people want to play when we were on Twitch. And then very quickly I was like, okay, like maybe I'm getting close to that number now. Like, maybe I'm going to need to, maybe like I'll need to start. Like, oh, I've not played with you in ages. Bye. But, it's been nice. It's been nice. been fun. Been really nice getting to just play with other people and play with like Overwatch fans and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just think it's like, I mean, most of the people that come on and watch your streams and stuff like that, unless you're like on with someone that's some big streamer or something like that, and most of the people that watch your streams are the same people that are messaging you on Twitter or sending you fan art or sending you this or asking you this and asking you that. So it's kind of nice to be like, you know, I'm going to go on and just play with random people. I might as well be playing with people that have some form of interest in like me and have some interest in Hazard and want to do this and want to do that. So I just think it's a nice kind of, almost feel as if like, it feels like it's the other way about. Does that make sense? It feels like it's the other way about, but it's almost like this community thing is something that everybody's been part of for 10 years. Wait, when was the first Overwatch? 2014? 15?
16. I think. Well,
16.
it got announced like somewhere around there.
Yeah.
You're somewhere correct.
Around about. So I mean, it's like 9 years old on that, and it's people that have been playing a game for 9 years. It's like, I think it's like, it's so nice that people, although I voice and act a character in it, it's so nice that people want to interact with me, like want to play with me and want to show me things, and do you know what I mean? Like, I think like it is quite an honour to be like kind of accepted into like a community that's like that. And people will say differently, I imagine, but like I'd say like 90-95% of interactions I've had have all been lovely and all been positive. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm just grateful for that. I'm like the same way with this, like anybody that wants to sit and like do and talk and hear and have a little bit of fun, I'm like, I know, it's nice, like it's fun, it's do you know what I mean? Like, I just think the day that you then start being like, I'm gonna do this, I'm not gonna play with these people, I'm not gonna do it, you know what I mean? I just go, who are you, man? Like, who do you think you are? I mean, if I end up in the new Star Wars or something, do you know what I mean? Then best believe.
See you later.
Soon as that happens, then yeah, I ain't playing with nobody. I won't even admit I was in Overwatch. Never heard of that. No. But until that day, remain humble.
Until that day, you can catch Conor on X and Twitch. We have the links down below. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this, Conor. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much for changing about things, because obviously I needed some changing. So thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. I had so much fun.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Paacreek, where can people find you online?
Twitter, Twitch, everywhere at Paacreek. Yelling.
Easy. Love it. You're yelling.
Did you say it is? What is it? Up the creek?
What? No, I did. I used to have an advice column called Up the Creek with Pa. But it's Paacreek. It's my real name's Patrick, and there were some kids in school that used to call me Paacreek, so I just kept it.
That's it.
That's me. This bitch. Yep.
I always will like be like, right, who can I find?
Paacreek is he's all about Overwatch, so you should play with him. Yeah, you guys should play together.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm back. We're now ex-friends, so and when I'm back, let's play. It's because I've done like some celebration.
I love that.
Such a nice celebration.
And you can find me at EaseBRP on all the social medias. You can follow the show at Realm Podcast on all the social medias as well. We'd love to hear from you. You can either DM us or email us at contact.realmpodcast@gmail.com. Until next time, I've been Ease, they've been Paacreek, he's been Conor, you've been you, and Realm Maintenance has been complete.